Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Two Nerds, One Quest. I am your host, JC, for this D&D program where two nerds decided they wanted to go on a quest and it is evolved into a larger adventuring party. The adventuring party now stands at 3 with my friends here, Tom, Aronan, Norman.
Sup? I have no idea what
Looking
that
at
noise
his
you
phone
made.
for something.
I'm just closing out the audio in my ear, so I didn't have it echoing.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, and I have no idea what Krixis was doing during the opening intro. Like he almost had a exorcist moment. I'm thinking.
It's just singing. Just giving you a little taste of what I got going on over here.
Was the second member of our adventuring party, Brian Krixis Kukta. And then we also have the most recent addition, the Lazy Dragon himself. We often refer to him as Genius because he knows all the rules. Jeff Doc
Sometimes.
Williams. Sometimes. Just sometimes. If you don't know him, you know where to find him quickly, which is always a benefit for me as a DM. DM pro tip: if people are questioning a rule at the table, make a decision right there. Say, I'm just going to do it this way. Have a player look it up, discuss it at the end, or discuss it shortly thereafter, and then make that going forward the rule. That way,
I don't make rules; I just break them.
You keep telling your story, and the game isn't disrupted, and you all learn. So, does someone want to give a recap? Aronan, maybe, or Krixis of where
Let's give the new guy the recap this week.
He wasn't there for.
Oh man, I wasn't even on screen for most of it.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound like an Aronan problem.
You were watching though.
I can do it if you want me to.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't. It's going to be a 5-minute recap. You wrote it all down.
Somebody had to take notes, right? DM?
All I remember is cold, hand axes, horse meat, dog sleds. Who's that guy? And let's go.
Sounds about right.
Genius, do you want to give the?
You want to fill in a
sure. I'll clean
maybe just the
I'll
gaps.
clean that up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, they left Phandalin with some cash in tow. They made their way on horseback to Neverwinter, did some shopping, did some selling, traded in their horses for dog sleds at the Acquisitions Incorporated office. And after selling the horses, found there were no ships, so that was interesting. And then happened across a stranger in a pub who had a connection to a ship, and before they could get a whole lot more out of it, he walked away and left them sitting on one side of a booth.
Freaky point of reference, he can read lips, and that worries some of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Won't be the only thing that worries the group.
Yes. Aronan?
Yeah,
he's a pedo too, is that what I hear you saying?
Just because he's short, Ryan.
I don't think it's because he's short.
No, is it? What is the beard?
Anyway,
so you guys start the next. Yeah, exactly. Onto the story. You guys wake up the next morning. You're told to meet at dawn, so you wake up a little before dawn to make your way to the beach north of town to look for your passage to Luskan. Anything you'd like to do before you head that way?
Krixis is just he's got his passive perception moving around to find a red hooded character.
Yeah, same with Aronan. I'm looking. I'm skeptical and I'm grumpy because we have no details, and I'm gonna be a bitch this morning.
Oh, and if there's bacon at the end, I'm gonna take some bacon.
Ooh.
Oh, absolutely.
Stuff.
Ellie is. She actually kind of looks at the two of you and goes, "Guys, you guys are tense today. We're going on a ship. This is gonna be cool." She's a little excited about this trip.
We're going on a ship with a guy that we just met last night that reads lips, didn't tell us dick about where he's going to be. We're on a stupid fucking treasure hunt for a boat. This is not how I'd like to wake up in the morning.
We're paying for passage, which is what we do anyways. If there was a ship available, we wouldn't know the captain of the ship anyway.
Did you hear me bitch about paying for passage? No. I'm bitching because we're trying to find a boat and because we're trying to find some stupid ass red hooded dwarf.
And as you guys are kind of walking north on the beach, she goes, "You mean that guy right there?" And you hear in your head, you hear like a horn sound, Aronan. No one else seems to react to it.
Huh.
Anybody else hear that?
No.
I think Ellie
No.
just broke my head. I hear a buzzing.
Huh.
Let's flip to the other side of this, Doc. You're standing there with the boatswain of the ship. He's a gnome, about 24 years old, very excitable, very friendly. His name is Flip. It's like, so they're coming, right? You said they were coming?
Yep, I'm certain they're coming. They seem pretty excited about getting north, looking for a ship. So,
And you
Oh,
said 10,
they,
10 gold ahead, right? That's what you told them?
I told them 10 gold. Yep.
Okay, Denon will be happy about that. That's good.
All right.
Man, that is gravy on the
All right.
cake.
I'll take the horn and blow it again
Okay.
with one more charge.
Okay. Aronan, in your head, you hear that horn go off again.
Guys, I'm losing my mind. Seriously. There is... Nobody else hears the horn?
No.
You hear a horn?
I
Are you sure it's not your anxiety from this adventure?
I don't have anxiety. I have horn in my head.
Keep an eye on that.
I'm going to, actually look around to see if I have, a horn following me.
Make a perception check.
Ooh, what do we got? 15.
15. Down the beach, you actually see the red cloaked figure putting a horn to his mouth, but for whatever reason, you seem to be the only one hearing it.
I'm going to point that out to Krixis. I'm going to say, that guy down there is, I think that's the source.
At that same moment, you see another smaller figure kind of come out from beside him and is standing next to him. Got a kind of wild dark hair that kind of stands up like Doc Brown, almost in a little shoulder patch. He's got a set of leather armor on and a big ass hammer on his back. It's almost comical how big the hammer is compared to him. Like if he were to use it, like he would have to take it over his head, and when he would hit the ground, his legs would probably kick up to smash whatever he's hitting. They're sitting there, and you notice there's also a rowboat nearby, the two of them, as you approach.
It seems like we've found our short friend.
I hope you're using
At
that
this-
term loosely.
As you guys walk up, without hesitation, this little gnome walks up to you and goes, "Hello, my name's Flip. How are you guys?" And he holds out his hand like he wants to shake hands.
I'm going to walk past him and hop into the rowboat.
I'll embrace his hand, and I will also ask,
He's watching
say,
Aronan walk by, and you embrace his hand.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr.
morning.
Flip. Before we board, I do have a question. Why is your vessel not on the registry?
We sometimes, yeah, you'd have to talk to the captain.
Indeed, I
Reason?
will.
There are reasons. See how he's that grumpy?
Yes, he does not like people at all.
I get it, but we probably need to keep him away from Flitta.
I'm gonna
That
yell
is
over.
the
I'm gonna yell
Flitta.
over from the boat. Hey, short stack, let's get this shit show going.
Flitta's our quartermaster, and she's a lot like him. Are we ready to go? Kind of looks over to Doc.
Yep,
Smiley
this
looks
is
at him.
them.
Yes, Flip. We're ready to get moving. All right, and Flip gets in the front of the boat, expecting Doc to row.
Doc has no problem with that.
And then so you guys row out. That's a quiet row out to the ship as Doc is rowing you guys out, and Flip is just a mile a minute with Ellie, talking about it. So you guys are headed up to Luskan, huh? That's a shady place to be headed. I heard all the stories about it. It's like this grand sailing city with these golden sails and ships all over the port and everything, and you get there and it's, well, I was disappointed. That's all I'm gonna say.
Your boat gently down the stream.
Do you think that Luskan might contain an armory or a weapons vendor?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You just need to talk to, well, I'm sure one of the ships. The ship Kurth would definitely know somewhere where you could find armory and stuff. So
This is taking too long. Stupid rowboat.
yeah.
Thank you for your help.
And it's the largest ship in Luskan. So I mean, there's a lot of people that belong to that ship.
Faster, it'd be nice. Get us on the boat.
Indeed.
See how he's mumbled to himself like this too? It's a little creepy.
So slow.
It is creepy, but you do get used to it.
At this point, you're coming upon the ship. A couple of things you notice at first. The hull of the ship is layered in ice, like the outside of the ship, and it's not just where it's meeting the water. It's almost like there's something magical about the hull of the ship that has the outer side of it encased in ice. The second thing you'll notice is that the sails, although they are down right now, you can clearly see that there are white dragon scales sewn into the sails. As you approach, a rope ladder is lowered down by a beautiful Aasimar woman, and she kind of throws it overboard, and it lowers right down to the ship, and Flip grabs onto it and starts climbing up right away and gets up to the top. What would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna grab the ladder and climb up.
Okay.
Stare at the beautiful Aasimar woman.
She looked down when she threw it over, and then she kind of backed up.
What was her name?
Do you ask her name when you get aboard the ship?
Oh, I thought you said he said that.
No, I said she's a beautiful Aasimar woman.
Oh,
and she threw a ladder over for you, and Flip climbed up, and she's up there waiting for you guys.
Yep, I'm gonna say my name's Aronan, and you are.
Aronan, my name's Miriam. Welcome aboard the Busty Mermaid. We are headed to Luskan. How many you have? 3, 4. 4 of you, so 40 gold.
I'm gonna give her 10 from my pocket.
Okay. And Ellie kind of looks
Actually,
in.
I'm gonna give her 20 because I have Ellie's money.
And as Ellie looks in her pocket, she looks at you and goes, "Oh, thank you." And kind of cinches her pouch back up and puts it back.
Krixis will drop 11 into the palm and say, "There's one more in case you've got a barrel of mead we could open up."
I may be able to arrange that. I'd have to talk to, well, I'd have to talk to Flitta. I'll see if I can get the captain to talk to her. She seems to be on better terms with him than anyone else on the ship. Welcome aboard. Again, my name is Miriam. You weren't up here. I am the first mate of the Busty Mermaid. This is Flip, our bosun. Hi, kind of waves again. Up there in the tower, that's our lookout, Lorelei, and you see there's an elf with a bow across her back, sitting up in the crow's nest, and she kind of looks down. Hi guys, she's rather young, about 18 or so. Very, very friendly. At this point, as you all get up on the ship and everyone's paid for their transportation, a half-elf comes walking out onto the deck of the ship, a couple of scimitars at his waist, and he's a darker complected half-elf. And for those of you that know, he's actually of Drow heritage. The elven side of him is Drow, and you can see that in his skin.
Drow like DROW?
DROW,
Yeah.
yep. He looks at
For your
Miriam.
knowledge, just for your knowledge, Tom, and Asimar, if you're not aware, is like it's like a human, but like an angel as well, like a cross between a human angel. So
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
pretty.
sexy's all get up.
The half elf walks over to Miriam. Said, "These are the passengers." Yes, they are. They've paid already. So, well, I'll have Flip show them to their quarters. It's not much impressive, but oh, don't worry, it's fine. It's fine. I sleep down there all the time. Yeah. All right, we will be leaving shortly.
I'm gonna pull Doc off to the side because I'm just not paying attention to anything, and I'm gonna say, "What was that horn you're playing? You're screaming at? What is that?"
Oh, I'll get the horn out and show him. It's a very, very finely crafted horn. Again, seemingly out of place with the rest of most of my attire. And I say, it's a horn that I use to signal individuals. I can play it like a normal horn, and he'll blow a note that everybody can hear. And it's kind of obnoxious. And I can also play it where only one person hears it, but they have to be kind of close. It's a handy little tool.
Why did you choose me?
You seem like the leader of the group.
Ellie overhears this and kind of snorts.
Krixis says he knew you'd be the most annoyed and want to be on time then.
I'm just gonna shake my head. Don't pay any attention to them. You seem like a smart man.
Ellie looks at Flip and says, "Flip, can you show us to where we'll be staying?" "Oh yeah. Come on." And Flip kind of grabs Ellie's hand and starts bringing her downstairs and down the stairs and into the hull of the ship. At that point, you guys, as you start going down, if you're going down, you would see the sails being raised and notice that, yes, there are full-on, they're woven right into it, all these white dragon scales. It actually looks really cool the way the sun kind of reflects off of them as it goes up.
Yep, I'm following.
I'd like to ask, why the dragon scales sewn into your sails? That seems like an expensive way to reinforce them.
We travel through northern seas. We sometimes travel into the ocean of ice. The precautions have been taken to make the ship more adaptable to cold weather environments. There are many hazards there that you've fought with before, and we just prefer to take some precaution.
Indeed.
I'm Denon, by the way, the captain says.
Good day, Captain Denon.
Captain's fine.
Indeed.
And then you see, and he kind of nods to you and then starts looking around and directing people to move the thing and the other thing.
Move the thing and the other thing.
Yes. Princess Bride reference for everyone.
Uh-huh.
You need the Idiot's Guide to
and a
Sailing.
possible show title.
I just put it in.
So Krixis is just going to look around. Does it look like the crew is kind of adept at what they do? Does it appear like
the other crew members who you've been introduced to, you assume are like the crew of the ship. There are many other deckhands working, and they all seem very competent, and good at what they're doing.
What was the name of the half elf? The drow?
Denon. Dennan.
Okay. Oh, so okay. So
yeah.
See, I told you I wasn't paying attention. He's the captain.
Really, how it sounds. Miriam's is spelt a bit differently. Miryam. Flip is 2 P's. Lorelei is spelt how Lorelei is spelt. As you guys are headed downstairs, the first level that you go by at the back side of the ship, there's a door open and there's a dwarf sitting there. And he seems to be stocking shelves with bandages and organizing just a shop. There's a small table. You kind of look in there and you recognize instantly, A, that he's a cleric, and B, this is like a medical facility, this room in the back of the ship. And he doesn't pay you any mind as he's going about his business. You go down another level and there is a large storeroom, and sitting at the desk in the storeroom is a ladrin, a frost elf for the most part. She sees you but does not acknowledge you. She is very standoffish. As you kind of walk by, you assume this may be, and actually are confirmed as you get down there. You get down to the next level and goes, that was Flitta. Don't let them talk to each other. He says to Ellie, yeah, we don't want him talking to her because that could be bad. You eventually are led down to the deck where all the cannons are kept. There's a pile of cannonballs in the corner that have a whole bunch of little drawings on them. Some have explosions on them. Some have smiley faces. Some have, like, I think one had a dog. One has a lightning bolt. One has a knife on it that's like split into 3 pieces and stuff. And he said, over here are hammocks. And strung between the rafters in this part of the ship, there's 6 hammocks sitting there. There's a smaller one towards the bow of the ship that has a pillow and some stuff thrown in it. And he goes, this one's mine. And he kind of jumps up in it and kind of swings back and forth. So why you guys going to Luskan? He's swinging on it, just talking to you guys.
I would imagine that Ellie wants to engage this conversation.
I think Ellie does. Ellie starts. She sits on the bunk next to her, and she said, "Is this one taken?" Or on the hammock next to his.
Yeah.
Said, "Is this one taken?" He goes, "No. You going to take that one?" That okay, cool. And the two of them just start going, and she's talking to him. And
I'm gonna
what would
walk
you
to
guys
the
like?
one furthest away from the whole. I'm picking the one furthest away.
Okay. There's one that's kind of offset in the corner, strung between two different rafters than the rest of them. The
Doc
rest
would
of
have
them kind of run parallel, but there's one off to the side that you grab right away.
stayed up on deck and went to talk to the captain about the arrangement he made.
Okay. All right.
Krixis is just going to put his bag next to any random one and just kind of walk around and inspect our room.
Okay. You walk around and inspect the room. There are cannons in this room, along with some gunpowder in some crates. Again, the cannonballs with all the colorful pictures on them and everything.
Are there
Flip sees
sacks
you
of
looking-
gunpowder? Sorry,
No.
JC.
Not sacks, crates.
Oh, okay.
There are
So
crates
noted.
of gunpowder. As you're looking at the cannonballs, Flip says, "Do you like those? I drew those." And he sees you smile, and he goes back to talking to Ellie. On the deck of the ship, Doc, you approach Denon, and Denon says, "All right, so what did we agree to then? I have 40 gold here."
I think we talked about half.
Half? All right. Here you go.
Thank you, sir.
You are very welcome.
They look like capable enough. If we run into any problems, they should be able, with my help, of course, handle anything.
Should say so. We're not incapable either. I mean, I have fought in a Kraken before.
Mhm.
Or we have, as a group, I should say.
Yeah, 2 clerics
You-
never hurts.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We do have our surgeon, Hendel. He's a cleric as well. So we have 3 aboard if we should happen to come across any trouble. We are going to be traveling through the Kraken's grave. Can I rely on you to relay the message that we will need absolute quiet at that time?
Just
To your roboted genius. Say that again, genius. You roboted on me. Sorry.
oh, I said just let me know when.
All right. It'll be later in the day, but it's always a hazard. So the you guys hear suddenly there's a loud clanking of like chain and stuff as an anchor is being brought up. And the ship starts actually rocking and sailing away. And you know you're en route to Luskan at this point. About halfway through oh, go ahead.
Sorry, is Flip still engaged in conversation with Ellie, or is he
As
gone
long
up
as-
deck to assist?
Let me see. Yeah, Ellie's holding out, so he's still going.
All right.
Oh. He
Was
was
that a
sitting-
Constitution check?
Yeah. Yes, it was. Flip is a mile a minute. Will talk to anyone that'll listen to him. And if you actually hear from them, you hear Flip talk about fighting a Kraken and Lorelei being tossed overboard, and then they got stranded. Their ship was, and then he goes on, and here and there you hear about things. You hear about a circus at one point. You hear about an island being stranded on an island, and he grabbed a gold coin once and disappeared into a place that he didn't know where he was, and yeah.
It's really cool.
Is there anything you guys would like to do in the morning here on the ship.
I'm just gonna stay in my hammock and I'm just gonna lay there.
How
Okay.
distracted is Flip?
Pretty distracted.
I have a jar.
Yep.
And I'd like to fill that jar with gunpowder.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check. Let me find Flip's stats here. This is actually really fun because all these characters are made.
12 on the sleight of
Uh,
hand.
12 on the sleight of hand. What's Flip's passive? That's the question. Flip's passive perception. Yeah, you're able to pull that off, no problem. You get yourself a jar full of gunpowder.
Intriguing.
I like the way you think.
How
So
are the seas
obviously-
today? Oh, go ahead.
What I was just gonna say. Is there anything else anyone wanted to do? You stole some gunpowder. You're hanging out in your hammock. Doc, you had your conversation with Denon.
Yeah, just keeping fresh air, staying on deck.
All right. I need one of you to roll a d20 for me.
Aronan.
D20.
I'll need a second person to roll the d20 as well.
11.
Okay. I need a second d20 roll then.
That wasn't like any special. It was just a regular roll of dice.
Yep, just a 1 through 20 number.
2, sir.
Looks like
2. As you're sitting there, Krixis, and it's actually you notice that a rat runs by one of the gunpowder crates in behind another one. A little rat, about yay big.
I am not going to alert anyone to what I saw.
Okay. All right. And the morning goes on with little more than this rat sighting, and at some point later in the day, or not later in the day, but later in the morning, Doc, you actually see a rat on the deck of the ship as you're up there.
I'll try to get it. I'll chase it with my little hand axe.
With your hand axe? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make an attack to try and hit this rat.
22.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the rat. You want to roll some damage?
Yeah.
Actually, you don't even need to
Yes,
roll
I
damage.
do.
Just got like a hit point. You hit it with your hand axe and you actually take its head off. Or how do you want to do it?
It's just just 3 damage.
Oh, that's plenty.
yeah,
It's got a hit point.
Yeah, I'll throw the hand axe and just cut the head right off.
The head right off. Okay, the head kind of pops off and the body flips over and the legs kind of go like this for a little bit as it's laying there, kind of splurting blood out the top.
I'll probably
Aronan?
just throw it overboard.
Throw it overboard. Okay. Aronan, you're swinging in your hammock. You got your hat down over your eyes, maybe. Just kind of swinging there like that. I need a perception check from you.
Come on, baby, give me some good perception. 11.
11. You hear something like skittering or something down by your feet.
I'm gonna look down.
You look down, you notice there's a rat coming down the pillar. His claws in it. He's coming down the pillar and he's like right next to your boot.
I'm gonna take my dagger and I'm gonna take a strong hand and flick it down on top of the rat.
Make an attack roll. God, roll 1, please.
I don't like where this is going.
Nor should you.
Actions.
Oh God, I could do so many things.
17.
17. Yep, no problem. You flick it, and then you actually pin this rat and like tunk, and sticks the rat to the beam, and it's just kind of sitting there shaking a little bit. Stops. God, there was any number of things I could have done with a bad roll on that. Cut yourself down from that. Hit your foot.
Krixis is gonna look at Ellie.
Yeah. Krixis, have you met Flip? He's a fascinating storyteller. she, as she's got her head turned to you, she kind of goes, it gives you a look like, save me.
All right. Yeah, I'll engage Flip and say, hey, Flip, we've got a lot to talk about as we arrive to Luskan. Is there a way that maybe you could go for a walk, sir?
I can go for a walk. Oh, crap. I need to do my rounds. Okay. I was doing them the whole time. Dan's going to get really mad at me. He hops down off his hammock and starts walking. He grabs his hammer and he's like walking officially. He goes up the stairs.
How does that childlike creature even wield such an axe?
It's, I don't know. He's really strong though. From what he says, he used to work in the circus. He used to put up the tents, apparently.
I'm gonna yell.
He started there, and then
I believe it.
he had, yeah, right. Apparently, he had a friend who was a druid that would like shape change into a bear, and they'd put on like bear taming shows. I don't know, some very strange character. Friendly, very, very friendly.
The stories they can tell.
He does talk a lot, yes.
I'm gonna reach over and pick up my strong hand because I haven't done that yet.
And then at that point, Ellie's going, well, what was that with the... And you pull it off the wall and the rat's still hanging on the end of it. Oh.
I'm gonna flick it in Ellie's direction.
Make an attack roll.
An attack roll?
Yeah.
You're
throwing an object at her. Yes, make an attack roll.
What would I use? My dagger?
Yeah, because it's a finesse weapon. This is a dexterity thing. Trying to flick this thing at her.
21.
21. Make a deception. Or do you want this to look intentional, or do you want it to look like an accident?
I want it to look intentional.
Okay, so you flick this rat at her and it hits her in the side, and she's like, ah, God, I got blood on me. She grabs like a rag and starts wiping the blood off her shoulder. Looks like they have an infestation problem. And at that point, she sees another one going rolling by and goes, yeah. Hide our food well. Hang it up. Tie it up well. We may have some issues tonight or later today.
Good thinking.
Yeah, apparently this crew has been together for a while. They seem decent. The only thing he really warned me about, he said Miriam is super nice. Lorelei is super nice. Denon's all right. He said, don't talk to Flitta. He was adamant about not talking to her. She's grumpy all the time, he says. Hendel's a good guy. His buddy, apparently. So, I don't know. Oh, at this point, Doc, this point in the day, you're approaching the Kraken's grave. Denon comes over to you and says, in the next, I don't know, mile or so here, we're going to be approaching the Kraken's grave. And as you look out into the water, you can see it. There's this massive, and you're aware of this. You've seen something similar to this before. It's just this massive dark spot in the water that extends out beyond where you can see. It almost looks like oil just sitting on the surface of the water. And he tells you can go alert your friends that we'll need absolute silence for about the next hour or so.
All right, I will run below decks and find them and tell them that.
Any one of you can make a nature check as far as what a kraken's grave is.
I'm +1 with nature.
0. I'm
0.
a 0 on nature.
You want to make a nature check at advantage, Aronan?
He does.
He does.
I do. I does. And advantage gives me... Oh, Jesus. 5.
Yeah, you have
I
no
rolled
idea
a
what
natural
kraken's
1 and
grave
a
is.
4.
Better now than when you're throwing the knife at your foot.
Fair.
I was expecting sparks to light off the gunpowder.
Ooh.
That could have been fun too. So yeah, you don't know much about it. Ellie has heard of them. She said, "I just hear that they can be dangerous. Oh, we should be quiet." At this point, as you enter this kraken's grave, I will need everyone to make a stealth check.
Oops, wrong one.
Actually, no. Who's all on deck? Just that. Oh no, Doc, you came downstairs. Would you go back up on deck, Doc?
Kraken's grave sounds dangerous. I'd probably want to see what's happening. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else want to go on deck, or are you guys staying below?
Yeah, I'm gonna go up because
Ellie's actually.
I've never
You've
seen
never seen it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go up on deck and observe.
That's Ellie's very, very curious as well. Okay, so I do need stealth rolls from everyone.
I rolled a 26.
8.
11.
11. Okay. Ellie's was a.
I'll give her a 1. 1. Make her trip.
Oh, 11 as well. So as you guys are, it's you get up there and you do see this the same as I described before, this massive, like, oily, dark spot on the water. And as you approach on this, you guys are all kind of at the front looking at it. Miriam comes up behind you and she says, "This is a kraken's grave. A kraken died here." And she's whispering. I'm going to talk normal, but she's whispering to you guys. She said, "A kraken died here and its spirit remains. And if you actually disturb the grave, it can, well, have grave consequences." And she kind of smirks at her wordplay. Who had 11s? Ellie had an 11, Krixis had an 11, and Doc had an 8.
Yeah. So Doc was when he hears that thing, he's gonna reach into his bag and pull out the maul, and you can imagine what that looks like, DM.
Yep. I don't have the description. You want to describe it for them?
Sure. So he's got a little satchel hanging around his across his chest, like around his neck, and flips the top over and he sticks his hand in, and what he pulls out is a relatively large weapon, much larger than the bag he pulled it out of, and it's a maul, so like a large hammer-like object, and probably about 3 feet tall. He pulls it out of this bag that can't possibly be more than 11 inches tall, and sets it down on the deck and kind of leans on the head.
Like Mary Poppins pulling a coat rack out of her bag. That's basically what this looks
It's
like.
bigger on the inside.
Oh yes, it's a good place to put large things.
Your when you put the head of the maul down, you put it down a little hard on the deck, and it made kind of an echoing thing. And Miriam kind of shoots you a look, and your impressed question, Krixis, was a little bit louder than you probably should have spoke. And Ellie kind of takes a step back and puts a hand on a crate nearby and knocks a lantern off of it, and it falls to the ground.
I'm gonna
At
throw
this
my
point-
hands up in the air like this, like, what in the hell are you people doing?
Yeah, you throw your hands up, and you perfectly communicate WTF without making any sound. In like, those of you that know thieves can't. He's going off right now, silently. At that point, you hear a rumble from below deck, or from below the water, honestly. And this giant tentacle comes up out of the water. This black tentacle comes up, arced with lightning all around it, slams on the deck of the ship. I need Constitution's, or nope, it's an attack roll. So, all of you, question for you.
Round one, fight!
That's a crit. Oh crap! I'm gonna kill the whole crew here. 27 hit your AC. All of you. Yes, it does. All of you take, oh good lord, 15. Oh no, 24 points of lightning damage.
So,
And I need Constitution saving throws from you all.
can I use Uncanny Dodge? My reaction?
Um,
When an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to have the attack's damage against you?
yes, you can.
All right, I'm gonna
So
use
you
Uncanny
take
Dodge.
12.
I take 12?
Yep. I need a Constitution saving throw from you all, though, then.
Should save. Krixis has 19.
You save.
30, 20.
You save. Ellie saved.
8.
Oh god, this is so perfect. Aronan being the one that's pissed off that everyone made noise. He's the one that's going to get hit. Aronan, you're blind for the next 4 hours. You can't see suddenly. And just as quickly as it attacked, it went away. Slunk off the side of the ship.
You dirty
Ellie's-
rat bastards, I'm blind. What the fuck did you do to me?
Oh. Miriam says, no, it's an effect. Shh, quiet. Otherwise it's going to happen again. And Ellie comes over and she just puts a hand on your shoulder and she just whispers in your ear, I'm right here. I think I can take care of it. Just let's get through this water first. Just here, sit down. Come here. Do you go with her? As she's trying to lead you by your arm.
Yeah.
She brings you over to a crate to sit and lean against.
If
Just
that thing
stay right
popped-
there. You'll be fine.
I'm gonna whisper to her, if that thing pops up again, point me in the right direction and give me an arrow.
I'm not going to let you shoot blind.
I've done it before.
Yeah, I think you
Doc
really hit me.
Doc will use his second wind to gain some hit points back.
And Ellie goes around and she's gonna cast Cure Wounds on herself. Oops, that's the wrong die to roll for that. She'll cast Cure Wounds on you too, Aronan. Let's see, where is Cure Wounds spells? So Aronan, you go ahead and get back. 8 hit points. Cast it on herself for 8. Let's see. Let me do it this way. So, and then, and she'll go over to Krixis and say, "Do you want me to cast a Cure Wounds on you?" Or do
No,
you got it?
I'll do my cure wounds at second level so that
Okay.
we're ready in case there's another
Okay.
issue.
And actually, she goes, you know what? That's not a bad idea. I should do that. It's put a little more into it. So let's see. That would be. Oh, that's better.
So here's a question: is there a place
Yes.
where I have to do? Oh, add active condition. Okay, never mind. I'm blinded.
It's just for 4 hours.
Yep.
I think. Yeah. Ellie will actually come up to you. You guys pass through the Kraken grave without another issue. The one attack was enough to get everyone to just shut the F up and get through it. Once you come through it, Ellie's like, all right, we're through it, Aronan here. And she puts a hand on your shoulder, Aronan, and a hand over your eyes. And you go from being blind to seeing bright light suddenly. And it's really strange. It's a very unsettling thing if you can think about opening your eyes from a bright light to normal light. It suddenly dims and focuses in that the real world is around you. Any better?
Yeah.
All right, good. Told you I could take care of it.
Well, and I'm just gonna hold my tongue. I'm just gonna hold my tongue.
Wow. Cool.
I'm too mad.
too mad to say much about
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
As the afternoon goes on, I need. Okay, who rolled my d20s the first time? Okay, Doc, give me a d20 roll then, and then I'll have Ellie roll the next one.
Lucky number 13.
13, so 13 and 12. So, at that point, as you're traveling through let me get up to this. You see a large, like, thunderhead cloud formation coming in, pouring rain. There's lightning. You can hear the thunder and see the lightning in the distance. And it looks like it's going to come right towards the ship. You guys are sailing almost right directly into it. The captain starts talking about tarping down everything, make sure things are tied down, make sure you have your safety ropes engaged, and you see the crew members are tying ropes to the mast and to their waist, and you see the waves are slowly starting coming in. You realize this is going to be a huge storm that comes in.
Do I see Flip?
Yeah, Flip's on deck.
Flip. I
Yeah.
see everyone taking precautions. Are we safer above or below deck?
Below deck. I will be going there. I've fallen off before. It's not fun. And at that point, he looks up and goes, "Lorelei, tie yourself." And she goes, I did. Thanks, Flip. She got thrown in the water once when we fought the Kraken. It broke like the mast and threw the whole mast out into the water. It was crazy. I'm amazed she's still alive. But we got a little bit of time yet. I got to tarp down some stuff here. So otherwise, we're gonna lose cargo and he'll be mad. So he runs off and he starts tying stuff off. Are you guys assisting at all with tying things down or helping the crew, or are you just?
I'm going
out
down
there?
below deck.
Okay.
I mean, I'll help Flip for a minute.
Okay. Flip appreciates the help and yeah, thank you. Ties and all right. I think we should be good. Doc, are you coming with us?
Yes, I would like to be below decks. But
Yeah.
just in case, do you have a bucket?
Yeah. There's buckets down there. Yeah. A few
Wonderful.
of them. Yes, you may need them. You don't get that way anymore. I used to a lot, but I don't anymore. But I understand. So he comes running down and he goes over and he comes down into the deck and he opens a closet and he goes, "Yep, here you go." And then he pulls out like 3 buckets and puts them on the ground. He said, "If you need one, take one. I need to secure the cannonballs. That was a problem one time. He goes over the cannonballs and he's like wrapping a tarp around it. And he gets it all.
Yeah, I'll
out.
help him with the cannonballs.
Okay. Make a dexterity check to tie down the cannonballs.
Natural 20 plus 1.
Wow, you're good at this. I don't think those are going anywhere. Now the fun part, and he runs over to his bunk and he gets up in it and he kind of pulls both sides up and he just holds them together. He goes, I just sit here and swing. Once the boat starts rocking, I just sit here and swing. I enjoy it now. Ellie's like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what you guys are doing. And you guys hear the rumbling thunder outside, and the waves start coming in, and the ship does start just naturally rocking back and forth as it's going. And at one point, it stops going from side to side and starts going front. It's like lurching as the waves come up on it, and it's lurching forward. I almost, as I'm doing this, I almost want you to have me in full screen. You're getting motion sick from watching me do this.
Yeah, Doc's gonna grab one bucket and go lean against the outer hull, or he's gonna start walking towards the outer hull, and then he's gonna stop, turn around, go grab a second bucket, and then go walk and sit with his back against the wall.
Doc, give me a Constitution saving throw because this seems to be something that affects him.
Dirty 20 again, but as written in his backstory, this is not going to go well either way.
Yeah.
He might swallow down a few, but
Yep. Is up in his mouth, and it doesn't. He swallows it and got that bad taste of bile in your mouth there for a little bit. Aronan, where are you? Did you climb in your?
I'm in my bunk. I went
In
down
your
below decks.
hammock?
I'm in my hammock, swaying from side to side.
Running from side to side. Why don't you give me a Constitution saving throw then too? Krixis, where are you? Same.
I am kind of holding on to a pole, trying to maintain balance.
I need a dexterity saving throw from you as the ship is rocking. Aronan, did you grab a bucket?
I did not.
You did not. Where you feel the vomit coming up? Where do you end up throwing it?
In my next, is there a wall next to me? Like, is my?
Yeah, there's a wall down the side here.
Yep.
Of you.
I'm going that direction.
Okay. So you kind of turn and make a dexterity saving throw because you're trying to time the swinging of your hammock with your vomiting, and you're trying to hit the wall.
15.
15. Successfully, you and right out down the wall, and you hear Flip from the side goes, "Use a bucket, please. I'm gonna have to clean that up."
I'm just gonna put my arm up and give him the finger.
13 on my dex save.
13 on your dex save. You stumble a little bit, but you're able to catch yourself with the whole. Aronon's vomit is running towards you slowly on the floor. You know, like when someone throws up on the scat at Bay Beach, and it just kind of seeps towards you. It's kind of doing that.
I'm gonna yell out, Ellie, is this the adventure you wanted to see? Some Kraken slaps and puke buckets.
The response you get from Ellie as you look over at her is into a bucket in front of her. As she's swinging on her thing, she's like, I think I need to get out of my hammock. And she's got a bucket in her arms. Doc, go ahead and make another Constitution saving throw. Because like you said, does not go well for you.
Ooh, 18 this time.
18. It still managed to a little bit just kept your mouth closed, and you had to swallow back quite a bit of it this time, but it kind of came out the corner of your mouth. You kind of rub it.
Ew.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about that. It's like
If Exotica's watching right now, I'm sure she's enjoying this.
No, she's not in the chat.
Aww.
The trip goes on. You hear the lightning and thunder outside. Let's see. I need to make a check for the captain. At one point, there's a thunderous kaboom, and there's like you felt your hair kind of stand up on the back of your neck, or your scales kind of get a little goofy just before this happened, and there's this massive thunderclap, and you're all deafened for like you look around and you kind of listening to each other, and you can't hear, your ears are ringing. You got that like muffled, like as you start talking you can understand someone's talking to you, but you have no idea what they're saying, and you hear more of your own voice than anyone else. Lasts for about a minute or two, and a Flip kind of gets out and he's like, guys, he's trying to get everyone's attention. I need to go see what that was. And he goes running up the ladder, and you kind of understand him. Doc, you definitely understand him because you can read lips. You're the one that's probably most benefited in this situation. You understand what everyone is saying because you can see them. You guys hang out below deck still, or do you go follow Flip?
I am going to hop out of my hammock, and I am going to I'm gonna follow him because everybody puking is just too much.
Yeah. I'm
Make a
feeling
dexterity saving
claustrophobic.
throw as you hop out of your hammock.
What were you saying, Krixis?
I was just saying I'm feeling claustrophobic as well, and the stench is really getting to me.
19.
We'll go up 19. You hop out of your hammock. As you're hopping out, you realize right away that you're about to land in your vomit and are able to spread your feet, and one foot on each side, and you're still on your feet, and you're able to walk out like you wanted to. Ellie follows suit and follows Flip up on deck. The rocking of the ship is lessened somewhat. The storm is still going on. You still hear lightning and thunder, but you feel you're through the worst of it. As you come up on deck, what was on the front end of the ship, this mermaid that was off the front end of the ship with busty mermaid, you know the type of ship head that you see.
Now describe it, John. This is an audio. Remember, this is also an audio podcast.
Oh, it's a busty mermaid. There you go. Long hair and a sword held forward in the eyes. I looked like I was carrying a couple of watermelons against my chest. That's the motion I made.
That's why I was laughing, is because you were doing the hand.
Yeah,
motion.
I made the motion and didn't actually describe
Uh-huh.
other than saying a busty mermaid. Yeah. Lightning. Apparently, this mermaid that was on the front of the ship is all charred and blackened. Apparently, this was struck by lightning as you went through the storm. The ship is not on fire at this point, but it is blackened.
Oh.
Miriam is up there currently looking at the integrity of the ship.
I'm gonna say to Ellie, boy, that probably is not good.
Oh, it's definitely lucky for sure that that could have been the mast. They could have lost their lookout. And she looks up, and you can see Lorelai's still up there, kind of waving.
Can Krixis yell to the captain, "Are all hands safe? And is it safe to be out?"
We're through the worst of it. It looks like. It looks like all hands are safe. No one usually rides near the bow, so we'll do a roll call in a minute here. And at this point, most of the ship it's almost a given when there's something like this that happens. Most of the ship's up on deck, looking, and Flip's running around. He's counting people and naming names. And it's weird as he goes through and he goes through and he's like Captain, Miriam, Frosty, Blackbeard. Yeah, and he points at you. He says, Newdorf, Dragon Guy, and Grumpy, and and he goes, and you, and like he points at Ellie, but he says, and you, and you can make an insight check at that moment if you like. Anyone, if you're curious, as what he might do.
I will. Crit 20.
When he says and you can actually notice his face turn a little pink, like he's blushing, like he's got a thing for her already. You notice he has an interest in her, Aronan. You're not quite sure what it is. And he goes around and he starts mentioning all the crew members, and everyone's got a nickname. And the only person that he called by their real name was Miriam, for some reason. And he comes back, and he comes back to Den. He's like, Den, and they're all here. Everyone's here. Everyone's safe. Even our new friends. He kind of points at you guys. All right, that is good. We have an hour or two left to our journey here. Feel free to relax best you can. We'll be through the storm, it seems, in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a short rest.
All right.
I will as well.
That sounds like a good plan. Find a pile of rope and lay down.
Yep. And there's a pile of rope on the deck, and it's a little wet right now, but you can go curl up in there. You see Flip go kind of sit over on a crate, and he takes his hammer off, and he kind of sets the hilt of it down on the deck, and he's looking at the head of it. It's kind of rusty. It's got one real shiny kind of spot on it. And he's talking. Almost looks like he's talking to his hammer. A little weird. At this point in the journey, Flita comes up on deck. Or not on deck, but she's staying on deck. She's not going back. She's kind of hanging out, and she's up near the captain. Had a couple of bits of small talk with him, and went and sat on the back of the ship looking out where you came from at the storm. Anything
I'll
else
go
you
over and
guys?
talk to Flita.
You'll go over and talk to Flita. How do you approach Flita?
Like this. And say, hello, I believe I heard you are Flita.
Flita. It's a D. What do you want?
The nuance is important. We're traveling to Luskan, and I have not been to Luskan. Anything we should be aware of as we enter the township?
Why don't you go ask Flip? He seems to like talking.
Yeah, Flip does enjoy talking, but I'd like to get the straight dope from you.
She rolls her eyes. There are plenty of people to ask on this ship. Please leave me alone.
I will respect your wishes, but if my crew gets injured, I might have to take up a grievance with your captain.
Take up a grievance with my captain, then. She goes back to looking at the storm.
She's pleasant.
Krixis walks away, a little defeated.
Doc's gonna always stay near a rail, just in case.
I'm gonna ask,
Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm
Doc.
gonna ask Krixis if he got any information.
That would be 12.
12? At this point, yeah, you sit up, you realize it's going to happen, and you stick your head out between the railings right into the ocean. Not doing well. About the same
Flip-
time you approach Krixis, Aronan, Flip comes running up and goes, "What are you doing? Don't talk to her."
Well, Flid with a D has the personality of a wall of bricks.
So she didn't tell you
Yes.
anything?
No, she wouldn't. I was gonna say
Well-
she actually said words to you. I'm impressed.
Let me go talk to her. I'm gonna start to walk
No,
away.
no. And Flip gets in front of you. He's got his hands under your knees. He's like, no, you don't want to go talk to her. No. She's not.
And then Krixis is gonna ask Flip, we're headed to Luskan. Is there anything I need to know? And engage him in conversation.
And Flip will start talking to you about Luskan. He takes his hands off of Aronon's legs and say, "Oh, Luskan, yeah, Luskan's got. There are 5 main ships in Luskan. Now, when I say a ship, it isn't actually a ship, but it's more of like an organization, like a fleet of ships. And the 5 ones. I mean, there's one. The biggest one is the DM's looking this up real quick. The largest one is Ship Kurth, and that one is actually, it controls, like, if you added the other like next 3 ships up all together, their size wouldn't equal the size of Ship Kurth.
I'm gonna pick him up by the shoulders and hold him up at eye level and say, "Get to the important parts."
Watch your back. It's a pirate city. You may have heard of it, and they may have talked about the golden sails and the bright shining large masts and beautiful city and stuff, and it is not. I was very disappointed when I first saw it. It is not like the stories. It is a pirate city. It's an underbelly world type place, full of pirates and smugglers, and there's not a more wretched hive of scum and villainy in the Sword Coast.
I'm gonna look him in the eyes and say, "Good, my type of people," and put him back down.
He looks up at Krixis and, yeah, he's gonna fit in there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Do you know where Ellie went? He says, he's looking up at you.
She's downstairs.
Okay, and he goes downstairs then.
I have no idea where she is. I just
Yeah, and no. I have stories for you guys. This is fantastic. That's perfect. That's a common way to take care of Flip, is just tell him either have him do a favor for you, or tell him it's somewhere else and he'll go.
Yeah, he basically took a ball and tossed it down the stairs and then shut the door.
Exactly what it was. You look around, you realize Ellie's not on deck, so she may be downstairs. So, are you going to engage Flip in conversation, Aronan, or no?
no. Because I'm grumpy too. I got everything I needed from Flip. Blah.
Flip.
And
Okay.
so I'm gonna tell Krixis, well, it looks like we're probably gonna have to really watch our step. I'll take the lead, and do you want to kind of bring up the rear just to kind of keep Ellie in between us? She's a little too naive to be anywhere but between all of us. She's gonna get us into a lot of trouble if we let her wander.
Yeah. My question is, what do we do with Doc?
Is he coming? Did he say he wants to come with us?
I'm unsure. I think we should have that conversation.
Do we want him with
Doc's
us?
watching them.
Yeah, and as we're talking, I kind of look around and I notice him watching, so I turn my back to him.
I'll say,
Hey, Aronan, make a perception check.
I've never seen a bag like he was holding, and it's very
15.
intriguing to me.
You do actually notice Doc in a pile of rope on the other side of the thing, and are able to turn your back.
I don't trust him. I don't know enough about him. I've been thinking of just taking his bag as we leave the ship and just call it even.
Although I
If you-
would support that, I would also caution you. He seems to be on a better level with the rest of this crew, and anything that might slight him may also slight this crew.
Yeah, but we're never gonna see these people again. And if we don't take him with us, then who gives a shit? I'll take the bag, and we can split up the contents.
At this point, the door kind of slams open from downstairs, and you see Ellie come walking up, and Flip's following behind her, just yeah da 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 da. And Ellie comes and sits over by Doc, and she sits down by him and says, "Excuse me, Flip, one moment." He said, "Oh, sure," and he just kind of sits there quietly, and she looks at Doc and says, "Are you feeling okay?"
Yes, I'm feeling much better now. There's not so much keeping me weighed down.
Oh, that's.
So,
You
I
seem to have a rough time with the sea.
yep, every time.
She puts a hand on you, and there's a light that kind of glows beneath your hand, and your head becomes remarkably clear and stable. She casts Lesser Restoration on you to just set your head, center you again, now that the storm has passed. And you feel better,
All right.
you feel less nauseous. You know it won't last forever, but it may last the rest of this trip.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you very much, Princess. I'm very appreciative of your assistance there. And sorry about the cloak and dagger the other night or last night. I not always comfortable in those dens of thieves. There's a lot of ill feelings in those places.
Similar to what I hear.
I wanted to. Oh, wonderful! No, I was there to get my meal and see if there was anyone needing passage.
Point of order, when you said the word princess, Miriam, who's standing on deck, snapped her head in your direction, and then looked up at Flitta, and then looked back at you, and then went back to what she was doing.
Did I notice her do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it's point of order, something that would have happened.
Okay.
You can make an insight check if you would like to.
Ooh. 19.
By the look on her face, you get the idea that the word princess is thrown around rather loosely and derogatorily on this ship.
Yeah, I'll maybe refrain from using that word for a little while. So you guys are heading to Luskan, and is that your final destination?
No, we're actually. Have you ever been to Icewind Dale? The 10 Towns region?
I have not, but I'm hoping to head up that way.
Why are you headed that way?
Well, I'm headed for adventure, and I hear there's adventure to the north.
Adventure? Wow. That's, well, Are you good with that mall that you took out of your bag? Where did you get that bag, by the way?
Oh, it was a gift from a friend.
That's a bag of holding, Flip says. It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. He starts explaining the concept of what this thing is to Ellie.
Yeah. I'll let him continue talking, but over the top of him, I'll be like, "You wouldn't believe the first time I figured out that's what it was. That's how it worked."
Really? That sounds flip. Yeah. This sounds like a good story. Let him tell his story about his bag.
Well, I have this horn, I showed the horn that I had out earlier, and I said I put it in the bag, thinking that would be a good place to put it. And then when I looked in the bag to take it out, I couldn't see it. I didn't know where it was, and I stuck my hand in. I was thinking, where in the world is this horn? And it just appeared in my hand. It was amazing. And I thought, well, I wonder if this works with other things. So I tried it with a few other things, and I wonder if the mall would fit in there. So I stuffed that in there, and it went all the way in. It's amazing.
So your maul's in there now, and the horn?
And a few other things, yeah.
How are you not... Now, is this bag hanging around your neck, or how do you have this attached to your body?
Yeah, and I'll take it off and hand it to her and let her hold it.
She was just gonna say, how are you not slouched forward? And you hand it to her, and she goes, wow. That doesn't weigh hardly anything.
Yeah, and while she's holding it, I'll pull them all out to show her it's really in there.
How does it work? Do I just reach in?
You have to think about what you're looking for, I think.
Do you have any gold in there?
Yes. Not much, but yes.
She suddenly kind of pulls out her hand, and there's gold coins in there. Wow, that's... And she openly dumps her palm in and showing you that she's dropping your gold back in there. And then she reaches in there and thinks horn and visualizes the horn you had before, and it appears in her hand. She's like, that is incredible. Here, I'll let you... Here. That's... Wow.
I know, right? Well, if you guys are heading to 10 Towns, maybe you could use some company. I'm pretty good with this the mall, and pretty tough. I can withstand a lot of damage before it takes me down.
You got cold weather gear?
And all I got is this cloak.
We'll have to do something about that if you're to come with us. I will talk to the other guys, and we'll have a conversation. And I think we could do
Wonderful.
something. That could be very helpful. So
then Doc says, "Hold on a second," and he runs to the rail one more time.
And you run to the rail, and it's more instinctual that you're running to the rail. You kind of lean over, thinking it's going to happen, and you... No, I'm good. Like your mouth started watering, and you got there, and you're like, all right, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. And she looks at you. You good?
Thumbs up.
All right. Thumbs up, mouth closed. Just. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she walks off towards Krixis and Aronan, flipping toe. Starts rambling about someone named Rose. Apparently, this is the name you catch as it goes walking away.
So as they approach, I think Krixis and Aronan are talking about a bag.
Okay. And she kind of looks and hang on a second. Let's see what she... What are you guys talking about? She says. She doesn't put two and two together.
I look at her and then I look at Flip and I say, "Hey, Flip, do you want to go grab me some water?"
Some water? Like drinkable water, or just water to...
Yeah, something to drink.
Okay. Yeah, I can go downstairs and get you some. And he runs off and leaves the three of you by yourselves on the deck.
So the question is, are we taking this vessel just to Luskan or all the way to 10 Towns?
That is a good question. I don't know if they're going to 10 Towns. I know they're going to Luskan for sure. But they do talk about having traveled in the ocean of ice, so it's a possibility. We should talk to the captain. At that point, you hear someone say, "Port ho!" The lookout Lorelei from above. She yells that out, and the whole crew starts bustling around and moving around, and we will stop right there.
Oh, I'm gonna turn around real
Primarily.
quick. Oh, I'm gonna turn around real quick and yell, "Who are you calling a hole?"
Perfect. Aronan, Tom, wrap us up. I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Oh, too funny. All right. We are Two Nerds, One Quest. It is lots of fun. I'm glad that we are doing this, and I think it's hilarious that John could not wait another 2 minutes.
And he couldn't, and I think it's hilarious that, like you said, Jeff and John can't see the chat. During
Yep. Although
episode.
John says he pulls the chat up. I'm surprised he hasn't. I don't think he looks at it.
He's got a lot going on.
Well, that's questionable. Anyway, you can give us all a follow on Twitter. I am Tom M. Norman. Genius is Lazy Dragon GB. Krixis Cooch is Crazy Cooch. And John, JC the DM, is Wildfire 1265. We are also 2 Nerds 1 Quest. The number 2 Nerds, the number 1 Quest. We are also on Patreon. If you are looking to give us some support, the biggest ask that we have is that you rate us wherever you get your podcast from. Most people are going to get it from iTunes or some version thereof. Give us a rating. Tell us what you think. Give us some stars, hopefully 5. Give us something. 1. We'll settle for 1. We'll take any stars. But if you also want to give us some support, patreon.com/2nerds1quest. We have some cool support rewards there for you. We're looking for some feedback and some fun. So join us in our Discord, give us some chats, send us some messages, ask us some questions. Twitter, Discord, Patreon. If you want to hear what we talk about before and after the show, Patreon is where you're going to get it. We have the entire show from the time I hit start stream to the time I hit stop stream. Usually about an extra 20-25 minutes of extra content. So
Jokes.
no jokes. Well, jokes in
Start.
quotation marks.
Yeah. We'll sometimes talk about things that happen during the session and the post show. Pre-show is usually me talking about whatever the hell I did the night before.
Yeah. Usually pre-show is tech, video games. I mean, usually it's just general nerd chatter.
Sorry.
What's that?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's coming. I'm looking forward to it. I was charged for my PS5. It's on its way.
Look at you. Hey, join
Mr. Fancy
the
Guy.
revolution.
Mr. Fancy Guy with this fancy computer stuff.
Anyone looking for a PS5? I probably shouldn't announce this.
John, would you like to give out your address?
No.
I'm looking for a PS5.
No, I'm not giving up my address. They will be available launch day, though, through digital retailers. That's where you're going to be able to get them. They won't have physical ones in the store.
I was going to say good luck with that. I'm sure that's going to crash real quick.
I'm actually going to make an attempt to buy a second one. I know plenty of people that want one, so if I do get my hands on a second one, I'm just trying to be a good friend.
You're a good man. 500%
markup, like the rest of the douches on the internet.
Well, that's the absolute worst case scenario if no one wants to buy it. But I have a bunch of I have a list probably 10 to 15 people long that would, between coworkers and friends that I play with online and you guys, that would be willing to buy it. So.
Oh, sure.
This feels like post-show chatter.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah. It kind of does. We just skipped the end credits. All right.
Little peek into what the post show's like.
Yeah. One of these sessions, I will actually put out a Patreon episode as for all, just so everybody gets an idea of it and gets a little, first hits free. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. All right. For Genius, for Cooch, for JC, I am Norm. We are out.
Yarr.